Okay, so today I'm going to show you how I memorize Deuteronomy 6:4. I'm going to show you how you can memorize it. I like Deuteronomy 6:4 through 9. It's a good section. Basically, Pastor Victor last Sunday was using this verse to remind us parents that it's our job to disciple our children, right? It's our job to teach them about God and point them to God, to Christ, whenever we can, all the time, right? So that's part of this verse 7 portion, right? But the Shema prayer, I love it. So I'm going to show you how you can memorize it. I memorized it using a different location, but I don't have a picture of that. But what I do have is this. And this is a picture of what is a room at IKEA. So yeah, I do that. I go to IKEA and I just take a picture of all the rooms so I can create more memory palaces. For you though, especially if you're new, don't do this. Use a section that you already know, because then you don't have to memorize where everything is. Like you don't have to memorize, oh, there's a picture frame here, there's a couch here. You already know that. So that's why you use that. If you don't know what the memory palace is, click on the links in the description so that Ron White video there, that he can explain it to you better. Okay, so this is how I would memorize Deuteronomy 6:4 through 9 using this room right here. Okay, so let's start with this Deuteronomy 6. How do I do that? Deuteronomy is a surfer dude. Why? Dude. Like surfers used to say dude. I don't know if they say that now, but Deuteronomy, surfer dude. Okay, and then 6 would be a cherry. I'm using the peg system. 6 is looks like a cherry, so 6. So and then 4 would be a chair. All right, so maybe here, I'll have a surfer dude stand here eating a cherry, and then he's gonna get up on a chair. All right, then I gotta choose what items in this room that I'm gonna use for each verse. So I'll choose this picture frame for verse 4, this door for verse 5, this section right here, mirror section for verse 6, these curtains for verse 7, this shelf right here for verse 8, and then I'll use a couch for verse 9. Okay, so first thing I gotta do is memorize each location. Verse 9 is a couch, verse 8 is a shelf, verse 7 is this curtain, verse 6 the mirror, verse 5 the door, and then verse 4 these picture frames. So how am I gonna break it down? Okay, so I broke down the verse already. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Verse 4 is gonna go on the picture frame. Verse 5 is gonna go on the door. 6 on the mirror, and so forth. So what do I do? Okay, so I got the surfer dude with eating the cherry, and he's sitting, stands up on a chair, and I like it because the first verse is here, right? So maybe in this picture frame, I just imagine a ear, right? So that's my trigger word to remember. That's here, play on words. So hear, O Israel. Maybe there's a map of Israel as well here. If you have a friend named Israel, maybe he's in this picture too. But the first word is here. So hear, O Israel. That's my picture here. Then maybe on the second frame here, I think the verse is the Lord our God. So the Lord for me is Darth Vader. So Darth Vader is holding an hourglass for hour. And then maybe in the hourglass, it's gold dust that's doing the time, dripping in the hourglass. So the Lord, our God. Oh, God, gold. Gold is my, you can use that for God. Play on words. Okay, and then maybe standing here, it'll be the Lord is one. So Lord, of course, Darth Vader, and he's going one. Maybe he has that, when you go to a game that has that big old hand with the number 1. So the Lord is one. Okay, so that's section verse 4 right here. Then I'll go to verse 5, and I think the verse is love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. Is that right? Yes, that's correct. Okay, so right here, maybe I open the door and then I see it's the love the Lord your God. So I see Lord again, and maybe he's gold this time. So that'll remind me that it's Lord and God. Love the Lord. So I'm gonna hug him. I open the door, I see him, and I'm gonna hug him. Love the Lord your God, right? And with all your heart. So maybe I'll pull out my heart. I don't know. That's kind of gross, but maybe I'll be holding a heart. And then sole is my shoe sole. So maybe I have a heart, and then I kick it with my shoe sole, and then maybe I flex after. Something like that. I might have to change that story with this door, but something like that. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. All right. Next verse, verse 6 is these. Okay, starts with these, and these is always my cousin Yoji. I can't tell you why, but he's my representative of these. Maybe you could use tease. I can't think of any other wordplay that you can use for these, but anyways, these and these commandments, I think that's, yeah, these commandments I give you today are to be on your hearts. So these commandments, so maybe Yoji, this is me in the back. So I'll imagine Yoji back here, and he's holding the 10 commandments. So these commandments that I give you today, so maybe he's giving it to me. So in this picture, I see mirror, I see Yoji with the 10 commandments. And then I'm going to break it up because the next ones are to be on your hearts. I'll break it up. R will be, for me, is a pirate, because pirates go R. To be is two B's, and then maybe they're jumping on a heart on here. So I imagine a pirate, right next to this counter, and then he sees two B's jumping on a heart. R to be on your hearts. Okay, and then verse 7, impress them on your children. So this one, I'll imagine me pushing my child through the curtains. Impress them. I'm pressing them through these curtains. Or you can impress, could be Impreza, Subaru Impreza. I think my cousin used to drive. Did he? I think he drove an Impreza. But anyways, maybe you can imagine Subaru Impreza driving around on this curtain, like a toy one, and there's a bunch of little children in it or something, right? Impress them on your children. Then I'll open the curtain up, and then I'll imagine a home behind these curtains, and I just, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, sit at home. So I'm talking in the home while I'm sitting down, and then I go outside, I walk along the road, there's a fake road here, and then I lie down on the road, and then I get up. So in that order, so you can get it. So behind these curtains, there's a home. Talk about them when you sit at home, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. Okay, verse 8 right here. So tie them as symbols on your hands. I'm gonna break this up too. So tie is gonna be a necktie, and then maybe I'm tying. So I'll imagine that like a hand here, kind of like maybe the Addams family hand, and then I'm tying symbols like drum symbols on his hands. So tie them as symbols on your hands, okay? And then bind them on your foreheads. Maybe I'll imagine like a big old forehead here, and then I'm binding the forehead, right, on this section, okay? Verse 9, write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates. So Wright would be the Wright brothers. I just imagine like, I have a picture of them already, the ones that made the airplanes and stuff, but I have the pictures of the Wright brothers, or you could use the Righteous brothers, the singers, I don't know. So, and then maybe I'll imagine a house on this couch, and the Wright brothers are writing stuff on the door frames of the house, and then they finish there, and then they run over to write it on the gates. Or maybe you could imagine Bill Gates sitting on this couch too, and he's writing on, and they're writing on him. But you always have to remember which is in order. So Gates is the last one. So you imagine the gates, writing on the gates last. Okay. So that's how I would do it. And then you just have to review. Just start again right here. Oh, there was an ear here. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Darth Vader, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. Right here, Yoji's there, and he's these commandments that I give you today, pirate, are two B's on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Go inside, talk about it when you sit at home, when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. Here, tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. And then the house here, the Wright brothers, write them on the door frames of your house and on your gates. Okay. Review, review, review. You have to review. This is just just a easier way, faster way to memorize than just rote memory. Okay, you're still doing rote, but you're just organizing what you need to memorize better. So I could go, okay, what's verse 6? Verse 6 was the mirror. So I imagine, okay, these commandments I give you today are to be on your hearts. What's verse 8? Oh yeah, over here, the hand. Tie them as symbols on your hands, bind them on your foreheads. Okay, you could say it backwards. Say verse 9 first, and then verse 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Just you're gonna have to review. So just practice it this way. All right. So hopefully this helps. I love study this too. It doesn't mean just because you memorize it and you don't know what God is saying, doesn't really help. You got to memorize it, and then know what God is saying through these verses, and then so that you can apply it. This verse here always, or just the first word here. I read that, the Shema, when you translate that, we translate to hear, but when they actually used it back then, it meant hear and obey. So when Moses was saying this to the Israelites, he expected them to hear and obey. So it meant to do it. It's the same thing. To hear and to do was the same thing. It's great. Yeah, study this section. It's so great. But even it's like, love the Lord your God, verse 5. Like, what does that mean? Like, we hear that all the time. Oh, love your neighbor, love God. What does that mean? Is that just a fuzzy emotional feeling where I just love that? Oh, I love them, kind of like that? Not really, because if you, not just that, but if you go to like 1 Corinthians 13, love is an action. You'll see it. Love is patient, love is kind. It's action, right? Deuteronomy 26:16. I like that, because 16 and 17, because basically it says like, this day the Lord your God commands you to do these statutes and rules. You shall therefore be careful to do them with all your heart and with all your soul. Kind of familiar, right? And what does that mean? So it says that, verse 17, you have declared today that the Lord is your God, and that you will walk in his ways, and that you will keep his statutes, you will keep his commands and his rules, and you will obey his voice. So that's that's what it means to love God. Jesus said, John 14:21, he says, the one who has my commandments and keeps them is the one who loves me, and the one who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love them and show myself to them. It's not like we're being forced to keep his commands and do what he says. It's like, no, we do it because we love him, and it's not hard to do. 1 John 5:3 says that, what does it say? It says something like, for this is the love of God. Yeah, for this is the love of God, to keep his commandments, and his commandments are not burdensome. It's not burdensome. It's easy for us to love our enemies. It's easy, not easy, but it's easier to love our enemies. Why? Because we remember that we're sinners too, and we know how bad we are. So how can we not love others, right? But anyways, this verse was to remind us that it's our job as parents to disciple our children. Okay, so hopefully this helps. I hope it gives you some ideas on how to memorize the scripture. And yeah, there we go. Okay, thank you.